House of the Dragon Season 2 has officially fully released, totaling in 8 episodes, 516 minutes of runtime, 104 minutes shorter than Season 1, yet still offers everything you'd expect from a Game of Thrones show, like unexpected deaths, backstabbing, scheming, twin warfare, witty dialogue, and so much more. Yet, after the finale, opinions are pouring in, flowing into a general consensus of dislike for the season. Most common complaint revolves around nothing happened. It was uneventful, didn't progress the story from where it was left in Season 1, mainly just a setup trailer for the next season. Personally, I can't say I agree, but I can understand where they're coming from. I'll be the first to say it. This season is far from perfect. But to be fair, it had a lot of hurdles to overcome during development, like the writer's strike or having the season cut down when they wrote it for 10 episodes. Yet in my opinion, they still managed to make an entertaining 8-episode season that has weak parts I disliked, like Rhaenyra sneaking into King's Landing on episode 3, or characters like Jaehaerys, Luke, and the Eric brothers rarely being mentioned in future episodes after their deaths, or it having quote-unquote filler moments throughout. Yet that wasn't enough for me to dislike this season, even with my expectations being vastly different. It may be people's expectations for this season might be causing the major disenjoyment. All the way back in the Season 1 finale, the last frame was Rhaenyra's face scolding, ready for all-out war with the dragons. Yet, as we saw with the beginning of the season, it was more cautious and slow, building it out until episode 4. The whole season shared a similar note, with each episode teasing something big for the next, raising people's expectations, leading to disappointment. I don't know, maybe I'm completely off. I just know when I stripped my expectations away, my enjoyment for the season went up, and the path they chose to go made a lot more sense. All Out War realistically couldn't have happened right out the gate. What came before had to be explored, and pieces had to be set for it not to feel jarring. Something episode 1 did masterfully. Episode 1, for me, was just a reminder of what I take for granted. The quality these shows have, the sets, the sound designs, the lighting, costumes, everything that makes Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon stand out from the rest. It even returned to where the original story all began, the North, with a deep, fitting monologue by Cregan Stark. What an opening that fed right into the reactions of Lucerys' death, leading to a powerful scene of Jace and Rhaenyra mourning. I wish we would have seen the Green's reaction to the news, but at least we got one side. Either way, this episode was impressive in reintroducing and threading in what has happened before, all while bringing in new interesting plot points and characters like Blood and Cheese, catapulting the season forward with ramifications right into episode 2. Episode 2 has to be in my top 3 for the season. The intense pacing while going through the reactions of Jaehaerys' death on both sides was done so well, leading to many captivating scenes the whole episode. One of the best was Aegon's small council, led by Otto, trying to find a way to capitalize on the tragedy, explaining what they should do right in front of Aegon mourning his son, mirroring the episode in Season 1 where Viserys was mourning his son Balon while they were trying to figure out the ramifications of his inheritance. You also have the heated exchange between Daemon and Rhaenyra, all the way to Aegon removing Otto as hand, replacing him with Sir Criston Cole, to then the twins fighting it out. A powerful, deep scene with excellent choreography. So much happens in this one episode, something that many people argue didn't happen the entire season. First 2 episodes were ambitious. None more ambitious than episode 4, which had episode 3 put the final touches on the setup. Out of all the episodes this season, this one could be seen as filler in my opinion, yet still pushes the story forward and introduces new characters, kicking off Daemon's Harrenhal arc. But its main job was to put the final touches on the setup for episode 4, titled The Red Dragon and the Gold. That is now the highest rated episode in the entire series, rightfully so. So many memorable moments, but why not talk about the most memorable one? The Dance of the Dragons, showcasing incredible CGI in tandem with practical effects and choreography, creating a great action sequence, all while having the meaningful character elements tied in, giving the spectacle some emotion. The main emotion was sadness. Seeing the dragons tear each other apart, causing Sunfire to be severely wounded or dead, and then Meleys and Rhaenys perish was so sad. Yet plays as such a great episode and a rewarding payoff for the episodes before, and being the catalyst for the rest of the season. From here on out, the season recovered from the aftermath of this event and pushed pieces forward. Now, I could talk about the last 4 episodes in depth, but this video is already getting long enough. So what I'm going to do is summarize on 5, 6, 7, and then talk about the season finale. Overall, the pacing did slow down tremendously, yet I still enjoyed the majority of all these episodes and still feel they all have great moments in them. Finding a way to build hype and expectations for the season finale, an episode that was one of my favorites, yet is the lowest rated one in the entire series. It embodies the entire season. The expectations for something big overshadowed a well put together episode. Episode 7 had an amazing cliffhanging ending, teasing something big for the finale, when in reality it turned out being an episode finishing threads and sprinkling in payoffs, like Daemon and Rhaenyra meeting up again, completing Daemon's arc for the season. I enjoyed it, but no matter what though, it did feel like this episode's main role was to set up season 3 with armies everywhere on the ground and dragons all over the sky ready to fight. We just won't get to see it for another 2 years, which is so disappointing, and I feel overshadows this episode that in the long run might be looked at more favorably. But as it stands right now, the finale wrapped a bow on people's disappointment for this season. Either way, for me, I still enjoyed this season. Could that be because I'm a little bit more of a fan than the average viewer? Maybe. But I still feel for the average viewer, this season still had many memorable moments and showcased why it's one of the top TV shows out right now. The acting was incredible. Many actors stood out. None more than Emma Darcy. They masterfully hit all the range of emotions Rhaenyra went through this season, making it believable and feel similar to the story. Emma Darcy has all the pressure on their shoulders. If that character doesn't work, the show doesn't work, and Emma kills it in this role. Another actor that crushes it is Fabian Frankel, who had quite an elevated role in the beginning half of the season, killing it, translating the doubt, guilt, and uncertainty that was in Sir Criston Cole's mind. These two are just a few of the extensive list of excellent actors this season. I could keep going on and on and on, but the fact is, this video is getting way too long. So to wrap this up, I will go through 2 of my favorite characters this season and 2 of my favorite moments. And if this video does well, I can make a separate video for each, exploring them a little bit further. One of the biggest standout characters this season has to be Sir Simon Strong. What a character, bringing fitting comedy in a grim show, countering Daemon perfectly. Daemon's Harrenhal arc might have gotten long-winded at times, but seeing both of the characters on screen was never a dull moment and always entertaining and a highlight point in this season. For the greatest moments, the one that come to my mind is the battle between the Eriks in episode 2, Daemon and Rhaenyra meeting again in the finale, Meleys and Vhagar and Sunfire's scene, to the council scene in episode 2, and also Sir Criston Cole's command in episode 4. All of them drew out emotion and were masterfully crafted like the season itself. Overall, to a fault, they might have developed too much this season, making the weaker moments stand out a little bit more. But I would rather take that than them
rushing past everything and not letting anything breathe.
Especially when the slower parts still had interesting dialogue and pushed the story forward for the majority of the time. I believe it will help this show in the long run, elevating season 3. All the groundwork has been laid. It only makes sense that this next one should be the biggest budgeted one so far, especially after the finale's montage. If they take it slow again for the next season, then I too might have similar views upon that season that people have for this one. Anyways, that is it for this long-winded video. If you've watched this far, I appreciate it, and let me know your opinions on this show. I would love to hear it either way. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you not mind it? Whatever. Peace.